Just realized my mic was muted. You guys will never believe it, but the stream's actually on time for once. This was the first time for everything. Yeah, I was just doing some dailies. Real quick.
이 순간을 어딘가에 담고 싶군.
이번엔 어떤 짓을 한 악인들이요?
가서 할 수 있는 건 다 해보고 오라고.
완벽한 거리.
주먹거리도 안 되는 놈들이니까.
하나 가져간다.
먹기 좋게 차려졌지 않나. 겉에.
Shit.
저것들 너덜너덜하잖아. 일단 정신 못 차리는 놈 대가리부터 뭉개.
Okay. I'm back because there was a dogfight and I had to go deal with that.
피워보지.
이런 건 몽둥이가 약이지. 그릇 두드려 패.
이런.
아이씨, 좀 피하면서 하라니까. 야, 저거 정신 차릴 때까지 앞에서 시선 좀 끌어줘야겠어.
대가리 딱 떼도. 뻔하지.
예사롭지가 않은데? 아주 작살을 내놨어. 방금 좀 똑똑했다. 옛날에 조직에서 싸울 때도 두뇌파로 적을 다 밀어버리는 놈이 있었지.
나의 정의에는 결과가 있었어.
하나 눕혔네. 이렇게 눕혀가다 보면 어느새 끝나는 게 싸우는 거지.
바람구멍을 내주지.
때가 되면 시들 수밖에 없는 운명. 자, 맛볼 시간이다.
And this thing is still nowhere near dead.
완전 조졌는데. 시계 돌릴 때 더 아프기만 하고 좋을 게 없을 것 같은데?
완벽한 거리군.
And why not target the umbrella?
자, 맛볼 시간이다.
다음번에는 뵐 수 있겠죠?
이거 완전 조졌는데? 계속해봐야 시계 돌릴 때 더 아프기만 하고
망설임이
좋을 게
없도록.
없을 것 같은데?
And he's dead. And Don's actually managed to get through it.
이거 완전 조졌는데? 계속해봐야 시계 돌릴 때 더 아프기만 하고
대가리 딱
좋을 게
떼고.
없을 것 같은데?
아차!
이거 완전 조졌는데? 계속해봐야 시계 돌릴 때 더 아프기만 하고
완벽한 거리군.
좋을 게 없을 것 같은데? 야, 다리 안쪽이 작살났네. 저러면 이제 메타작을 피할 방법이 없지.
팔 하나 가져간다.
그거 내 입에서 멍청하냐는 소리는 안 나오게 해라.
망설임이 없도록.
And he's dead.
죽을 리가. 죽지에게.
옛날에도 이럴 때가 자주 있었지. 죄다 피떡이 되어가지고 죽을랑말랑.
완벽한
그래도
거리군.
지금이다.
도망가는 건 모양빨이잖아.
개골바가지 거미.
내 죄는 내가 알아서 처리한다. 해파. 지겹군. 이 몸이 직접 손봐야겠느냐.
And she is dead.
눈들이 감기고 빛이 꺼지고.
And then he has those.
죽겠네. 뭐
Cool.
시계 대가리도 있으니까 겁먹지 말고 일단 밀어붙여 보지.
완벽한 거리군.
아이 이러다 다 죽겠네. 뭐 시계 대가리도 있으니까
완벽한 거리군.
겁먹지 말고 일단 밀어붙여 보지.
뻔하지.
옛날에도 이럴 때가 자주 있었지.
Yeah,
완벽한 거리군.
just gonna give up.
죽을랑말랑. 그래도 도망가는 건 모양 빠지잖냐?
곧 감미로운 트럼펫 경보와 비명 소리가 들릴 거다. 잘나신 관리자 놈이 수습하겠다고 또 난리를 피울 테지. 꽤 재밌는 관람이 되겠군.
Oh, Dante's room. It has been a long while since I was able to relax like this, all alone in my room with no concern in my mind. Maybe it's because a heavy burden has been lifted from my heart. I told the sinners that we should take a day off or so in our respective rooms after what happened. We deserve a good rest. A big part of the decision was also to relieve Yi-sung of his seasickness, at least for a day. I don't think the sinners' rooms sway with the waves. We're still a ways away from getting out of this great lake. I thought it would be a good idea to have a day like this where we could just sit and relax. Of course, this wasn't like a real vacation or anything. If anything were to happen, this little time off would be over just like that. Like that eardrum tearing siren of Mephistopheles. That always finds the worst times to go off, for example. Oh. Yeah. I had a feeling that something like this was gonna happen. I'm not even upset at this point. That siren better be worth getting our bums off for. Yeah. There was naught to do in our respective chambers anyway. Heathcliff, I imagine that the time spent alone in your room must have been quite dreary indeed. I can be a contemplative man for the time to time, alright? Gasp for truth? Oi, clockhead. 1 clock turning coming right up. This will be the last one in a while, so just take one for the team, alright? Aren't you going to ask Virgil for permission too? Ah, blocks. I think I'm starting to get a handle on how to manage Heathcliff. Good news, Heathcliff. This voyage alarm seems to be something we can make use of. Then, indeed, a notable change has occurred in one of the mirror dungeon's doors. Dante, the short downtime you suggested. Oh yeah, I think I knew something like this was gonna happen. Anyway. I see, then let us investigate the area where the volatility was detected. There was something odd about the way Faust and Virgilus were looking at me, but I was too busy to worry about the two of them. I had somewhat convinced the sinners who had their long-awaited proper break taken away from them as it started to get to work. Another locked door is open. The keep out tapes have also disappeared. The door looks a bit bluish this time, doesn't it? Where did the other door go? I didn't think they were blue like this. The door didn't look a bit blue this time. Looks like every new mirror dungeon door will have a different design. And disappear from time to time, I guess. I can hear rolling waves from the other side, I think. According to the information relayed to us via the device, it appears that the official designation for this new area summoned by the backdoor volatility will be the Mirror of the Lake. Ishmael's eyebrows twisted. This is exactly what happens after we wrapped up Yisung's business. It seems too convenient to call it coincidence, doesn't it? It's like these areas are tailor-made for each sinner, Faust. Mephistopheles' engine is designed to change and adapt every time a golden bow is retrieved. And the back door is also a product of the engine. It would not be a reach to theorize that the incident with each sinner would affect the engine, which in turn influences contents of the back door. In other words, it's pretty much a guarantee that with each golden bow retrieve, we'll be getting a new zone from now on. Quite likely, yes. Okay, yeah, thanks for the explanation. Ishmael's willingness to sharply and boldly question all things suspicious did not change at all, but, or maybe she just didn't like the fact that the word lake was even brought up. After the events of the Great Lake, maybe she was starting to take care not to be as blunt and scathing towards her fellow sinners. Not more than necessary, anyway. That's good, I'm relieved. Wait, that raises another question. You ask, are the Golden Bow not immediately shipped to the headquarters by the after team as soon as we retrieve them? How can they affect the engines if they're not here? The answer is that the question requires a further lengthy explanation. I cannot. Wait, Otis, how about we try to wrap this up as quickly as we can? We better get to some place that's not constantly swaying. These things are really not having a good time out here. I did not take my medication, for I assumed that we would be having a brief respite. I beg your forgiveness. I'll hear just a summary then. In summary, once the Golden Bow is retrieved and when Limbuscompany headquarters goes through a certain turning process, Mephistopheles' engine and the Golden Bow's wavelengths will overlap, causing a resonance effect, which is a process that involves resonating with the Golden Bow in your head as well, manager. That's how it works. Does the process not harm the executive manager? No, as you have witnessed it yourself. So once it is retrieved, the Golden Bow continues to affect those it resonates with, I see. Are we done with the during lectures? Iwatol. Enough with the lecture. Faust, this dungeon, we have to enter it now, don't we? It feels like I was going back on my promise after telling everyone that we could relax. I don't like this one bit. But I think I already knew what Faust was going to say. Faust suggests that we explore the new zone as soon as we are able. Mephistopheles is still at a significant distance from the shore, and there are not many activities to do before we reach our next destination. This will be appropriate exercise for us during this empty period. Executive Manager, I understand that you may feel uncomfortable going against your earlier orders, but consider the fact that this journey will continue on for quite some time. I believe that the resources and the combat experience that we can gain from this new area would be quite considerable. I nodded affirmatively. The sinners each began grumbling and aired their woes, but they still prepared to head into the dungeon once again. Thus we entered the newly formed door. As our voyage on the Great Lake extends, the list of things to keep the sinners entertained grows even smaller. In a way, it sounds like a serious problem, but... Guys, anybody got any fun stories to tell? No, for the 13th time, I suppose repeating the exact same phrase that many times is a talent, if it could even be called that. If you're having trouble recalling what you said moments ago, she has repeated the phrase 28 times to be precise. At 30, I was planning to verify if she had suffered any damage to her occipital region. I get it, I'm just that bored, Kay. There's nothing to do anymore. I'm tired of playing the same game of backgammon again and again. Good, I've got a job for you then. How about you start feeding the seagulls on time for once? Somehow it's become my responsibility after all of you got tired of taking care of it. Yeah, we've got to have to let the seagull go once we're out of the Great Lake anyway. Where'd you even get yourself get attached to it? Just look at her. The way she looks at you, those woeful eyes. What, your average seagull eyes? It was abundantly clear that the sinners were starting to slowly expire from the sheer boredom. But it's not really a problem that has a solution, and I have zero interest stories to tell, considering that I'm an amnesiac, so all I could do was sit here and watch the sinners suffer. Putting them through the daily trials of the mirror dungeon wasn't the most exciting activity ever. Speaking of which, Heathcliff appeared to be the one least affected by this mess. Well, not that he was also calm and aloof, that is. I'd say he's anxious. Virgilus. A frosty silence descended upon the sinners, and the source of the frost was the inexplicable event that played out before their eyes. Huh? Heathcliff, have you gone insane? Did you finally snap? This must be the side effect of the convolution. Maybe we can call this sense of self-preservation loss syndrome or something like that. Heathcliff, shut your traps. I ain't mad, and my sense of self-preservation is just fine. Impressive, Heathcliff. I rarely found myself surprised in the series of misadventures so far, but this is one of those rare occasions. What is your business? It's our next destination is T-Corp, isn't it? Do you really need me to answer that? You know what I'm talking about. Patience, Heathcliff. Though that seems to be a virtue that most of you lack. If everything goes according to the flow, you'll make it to your appointment on time. Since I had no context for any of that, all I could do was sit here and watch as Heathcliff scratched the back of his head. I'm still out of the loop, but Heathcliff must be really anxious about something. If you're willing to talk to Virgilus first, and after all that, that's not, what else could possibly be more important than the point? Wait. Heathcliff turned around to face us. Wait, any of you, got any history with T-Corp? Show of your hands now. I have, in a way. I resided in that place once. Right, but we already did you, didn't we? Then, yeah, soon it'll be. But we're still in the middle of this mad lake. Wait, Clockhead, what's today's date? How would I know? Can't you tell the date? You have a clock for a head. But clocks and calendars are completely different things. Huh? Keith, that was your 13th sigh today. Keep doing that and you just might huff and puff our boat to pieces. Tell us, Heathcliff, your turn's coming up, isn't it? And whatever it is that awaits you there, you're going to have to prepare yourself for it. Yeah, I suppose that's no use hiding it anymore. After some time, right, so to summarize, Heathcliff's starting to feel like his turn's coming up now that Ishmael had her time in the ringer, and he's got good reason to believe that because Virgilus handed him something in their last consultation that affirmed this suspicion, And according to that, something he'll need some fancy clothes and whatnot to refine his looks before we get to Tikal. But since we're still so far from escaping the lake, you're starting to feel restless in that, right? Right on. So yeah, so there's not much we can do about that before we hit solid ground and there. Oh, come on, Heath. That's it. Don't you worry, I can definitely help you with that as soon as we find land, okay? We don't even know how far away from land we are. Dante, we have reached the end of the scheduled work period for the sinners. Oh, yeah. I hereby confirm today's close of business for the sinners. I effectively said my usual routine piece as the light alarm played. Man, that wasn't even a big deal then, yawn. I was hoping to see an act of dramatic bloodshed for once. Well, at least he wasn't trying to stir up trouble for once. The sinners each got up from their seats, yawned and stretched, and one by one disappeared into their back door. Wait, Clockhead, did you know they knocked your wits off along with your head? Sorry. But Gregor isn't completely wrong, is he? Can't you even mince words at this point, huh? Burgess and Charon also walked into the back door, mocking grins on their faces. And I was left alone in the ship's cabin, standing awkwardly next to severely crestfallen Heathcliff. Ahem. Wait, there was another. Sir Heathcliff. What are you doing out here, girl? Run along, you gotta go gush about high and mighty fixes of T-Corp or something. I shall have plenty of time for that later. Yet thou shalt do well to treat me well, Sir Heathcliff. What, you... Hold! Allow me to finish, Manager Esquire. Sir Heathcliff, come here's a hush-hush. Don Quixote wore a confident smile. She slowly, gingerly walked over to present and temporarily vacant Charon's seat, and whispered ever so solemnly to us. Forsooth, I have devised a splendid plan for thee. I need to get used to waking up at this time before I start streaming, damn it. I might as well do some extractions. Oh.
가슴 가장 깊은 곳까지 박히도록.
Oh, I got the hex now. Suppose I should equip the ego. And shred spin it. Oh well, I might as well on the stream. Didn't go that well, let's say.